Now. Hello. Today we're going to be doing a how-to video on playing Archduke. You've got a bag full of tokens, you've got your stack of cards, about 104 cards, you've got the rules, and the goal of this game is to have the lowest value of cards by the end of each round and have the lowest value of tokens by the end of all 4 rounds. A brief overview on what we've got in the box, different cards. All of the cards are basically connected to some numerical value, and you've got a few special ability cards, some action cards, like the peek card. If you play that from your hand, you can peek at any of your cards that you haven't seen yet or that you simply don't remember what it is. And you've got your eclipse cards. This one's not bad to hang on to, but this has its own eclipse ability where if this card is played, you can hurry and match this on top of it if it is discarded in the discard pile before the next person touches the draw pile to begin their round. And you've also got these give cards. If you play those from your set, then you can give a card to any other player at the table. You could even give one to yourself, but that wouldn't make any sense since you're trying to get rid of cards. You've also got swap. This will allow you to swap the place of 2 cards anywhere on the play table, whether it's in your hand or an opponent's hand. You can swap cards with one of your opponents, or you can swap their cards around, basically just to sow confusion and make them have to rediscover what they've got in their hand and shake their confidence in being able to call Archduke. I've also got this, which is the Archduke card. It really helps you lower the value of your cards. Alternatively, if someone, for example, plays or I should say discards a card, and you happen to have a card of that same numerical value, gotta be one other one in here, and you remember where it is in your set of cards, you can hurry and match it on top of that card before the next player touches your or the draw deck to begin their turn. And how you want to set this game up to get going is you're going to have your draw deck here. And you're going to deal 4 cards to each player. And you're going to set them up like so. If for some reason you get a penalty card or add a card to your hand from the draw deck, as you can draw from the draw deck as well, you're just going to keep stacking to the right, like so on and so forth. And we also want to set up the tokens, and if you want to set it up for the number of players, so each stack for each round is going to be just 2 tokens, first and second place. And now on your turn you can choose to either draw from this draw pile and discard that card or swap it with one of your existing cards. And you're only going to know at the beginning of the game what two of them are. You can also choose to draw from the discard pile, but you have to keep that card and put it face down in your set. At the beginning of the game, you're going to peek at two of your cards, preferably the two closest to you for the sake of memory. And then you're going to play the rest of the game not really seeing what they are unless you get a peek card or you swap it with another card. You will begin the game by having someone discard the top card from the draw pile, and if anyone has a matching card, they can hurry and match it before the first player does their turn. But the player to the left of the dealer will be the one to go first, and they will either pick a card from the discard pile and add it to their hand, or they will draw a card from the draw pile and match it, well, not match it, but replace one of their existing cards with it, or simply discard it if they don't want to keep it. And yes, you can choose to discard a card you haven't seen yet and hope that it's a lower card, which in this case it wasn't, but she can now use this action card that she just discarded from her hand to give me another mystery card that I have to deal with. Now for action cards, you can only perform the action if it comes from your existing set. If you simply draw it and then discard it, that doesn't count. It has to come from your set. Take and draw this, and I am not willing to keep that. It's simply too high of a value for me to want to risk the possibility of discarding a low value card. Same with that. And at any point during the game, on whoever's turn, if they get to a point where they're confident that they have the lowest value on all their cards, and or the fewest cards, they will proclaim Archduke, and then the rest of the players will perform one round of play, and then you will all look at your cards. But it's too early in the game for us to have figured that out yet. So we're going to continue. Oh, that's item 1 of 12. Now this I can work with. I see how it is. That's your turn. Gamble.
Yes.
Just trying to remember if I actually had a 3. I'm finally back down to a 4-card set. Things are looking up. Ish. The odds are not in my favor.
can't, right?
I'm giving you a card.
I can match, right?
Actually you can. Even if you've called Archduke, you can match.
Okay.
And so that means you can give me a card too. Or, well, I can just add it. I'm afraid that backfired. I failed in my own how-to video. So now we will all compare card values, and I am easily the loser. I have a very high value among all my cards. How could I go wrong? So I'll take the measly second place. And I don't know if we need to shuffle or not. Alright, and since I am the lowest on the totem pole, I'll be going first this round. We'll get our 4 cards. We'll peek at our respective cards. And I'll begin. Things are looking up. So you get to peek twice. You can peek at your cards or my cards. I think so, right? This could be a gamble. I think I'm just gonna hope for the best. So we will all compare our cards. And I only lost by 2 points.
Yeah.
I see how it is. Again, and I guess I will also go first again, since I got low score. Try to replace one of my cards. I might actually get first place this time. And now if for some reason I try to match a card, or any of us tries to match a card, and we don't do it in time before the next player touches the draw pile, then the player trying to do the match would draw a penalty card and add it to their set. Well, on top of that, they'd also keep the card they were trying to match. This also can happen if you think you're matching the right card, but you try to match the wrong card to the card that was just discarded. You also take the penalty card along with the card that you were trying to discard. So, some things to keep in mind. This also is the case if you proclaim Archduke, but you were wrong in your assessment that you had the lowest card. And that simply means, well, that really takes impact or makes a bigger impact if you're playing with a larger group of people, because then you have higher and higher value tokens that you could end up with because of that. So I will, nope, I can keep that. Huh. Didn't know that was a 13. I could have discarded it by now. So, which two cards are you going to swap? Giving you two cards. Actually, I guess that needs to go to your right.
But you didn't have two from your deck.
Actually, I did. I replaced one of these with a different card.
Okay.
And I knew I already had two of those.
So let's see how it goes.
Oh. Apparently you gave me a 9. So
you have
12 for me.
11 minus 3.
Oh, 6. Man. So actually, not knowing what this was, I could have replaced this and instead of playing the 2 give cards, and I still would have won. If only I knew it was a 9. Or if only I'd given you 2 10s. I tried. Not that it makes a huge world of difference, but I guess these stack to the right of our cards.
Always?
At least according to the rules.
Okay.
I guess I should try to be consistent since it's a how-to video. What do you think? Reshuffle?
Yeah.
Add them below the existing cards at least. And for those interested, there are also some variations to this game. There is an advanced mode, where if you're willing to play a longer game, you can play 2 sessions for 8 rounds total, which will give you more opportunity for strategy, at least long-term strategy. You just have to take note of the first 4 rounds in the first session, take note of the score, and then add it all together in the, well, at the end of the second session. And there's also a Battle Royale alternative, which means that you could eliminate a player at the end of each round, and the last player standing wins. The player with the highest value at the end of each round is simply eliminated. So for this, you don't need to use any tokens. You simply refer to the values of people's cards at the end. So it's an interesting alternative as long as you have like a larger group to play with. Otherwise, if it's 2 players, then you're just basically playing a single round, and that's it. Alright, since I once again came in second, I'll have you put that down since I have to go first.
You've been doing your putting now.
Well, I mean the player that usually deals the first card.
You've been doing first.
Well, I mean, except for I did it the first time because
You
the
did
second.
other times.
Well, that time we didn't do it. I don't know if we're supposed to still do it actually now that I think about it, but we didn't do that since there was already a stack of cards here. So I simply just did the first turn. Opportunity I could not pass up.
You are making it confusing.
Could be mistaken that maybe we're supposed to have someone discard the first card before there's turns on the other rounds too. Of course, that's probably preference at that point. Which cards do I want to swap? Let's see what happens. Hopefully I have not shot myself in the foot. did you know I gave you a 5?
I knew. I exchange it
Oh, so you already exchanged it.
and then I match it.
Okay. Interesting.
Archduke.
That kind of interrupts what I was hoping to do.
Ready?
My odds aren't too bad, I think. Or, well, shoot. I have not had the best of luck with cards this session.
Oops, sorry.
I was
Sorry,
hoping. I was really hoping to get a low value card so I could play this without risking too much. But that's not what happened. So as far as who won all the end of all the rounds altogether, obviously it wasn't me because I got second place each time and she got first place each time. So I guess I failed. I failed my people. Anyway, let me know what you think of this game in the comments and of my poor performance at trying to gain first place. There's also an optional rule in here too, as a last addition. If any point a player knocks over their token stack, you also get a penalty card. We have not done that because I probably would have got a penalty card at least once. Furthermore, in case of a tie, at the end of a round, the person with the fewest cards has the better hand. If, for some reason, they also have the same amount of cards, compare the lowest card, the lowest value card in their hand, and the smallest value wins. And if all else fails and there's still a tie, each player draws a card from the deck and the lowest value wins. And if it's on final scoring, then in the event of a tie, the victory is simply shared. But if this is unacceptable, then you can have the two players duke it out in a single round of a two-player game. You know, let me know what you think of the game and the video and my loss, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed.